Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's golden goose, and the league better not forget it. Dan Dakich stirred the pot when he boldly declared, "Only Caitlin Clark matters in the WNBA." Ouch. While that might sound like a hot take meant to ignite a debate, it's hard to ignore the truth behind those words. With her record-breaking performances and a fan base that could fill a stadium, Clark isn't just another player. She's the main event. Meanwhile, names like Angel Reese and Aja Wilson, though talented, seem to fade into the background. It's almost like they're the opening acts at a concert where Clark is the headliner, stealing the spotlight and leaving everyone else in the dust. So what happens if the Golden Goose gets hurt or, heaven forbid, loses her magic? The WNBA could find itself in a bit of a pickle. It's a wild ride watching Clark redefine the league, but can it survive if she ever stumbles? Let's dive into the chaos of Dakich's comments and explore the real implications for the WNBA's future. But before we get into the juicy details, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Join us for all the latest WNBA drama, hot takes, and everything you need to know about the league. Welcome to Basketball Player's Masterpiece. Caitlin Clark didn't just step into the WNBA, she blew the doors off. From setting records in college with the Iowa Hawkeyes to becoming the #1 overall draft pick for the Indiana Fever, Clark didn't quietly transition into the pros. She exploded onto the scene with a force the WNBA frankly has never seen before. Her rookie campaign, awarded Rookie of the Year, sold-out jerseys, off-the-charts TV numbers, and, oh yeah, Time Magazine's 2024 Athlete of the Year. Not female athlete, not WNBA star, just Athlete of the Year, period.
Caitlin Clark has been named Time Athlete of the Year, which you can see right here. This is the cover of the Time magazine for her after she took the WNBA by storm.
But just as she was flying high, Team USA left her grounded. Despite redefining what it meant to be a women's basketball star, Clark was left off the 2024 Olympic roster for the Paris Games. And that's where the tension really begins. Because that move, that decision to not take the most watched player in women's basketball to the biggest stage in sports, lit a fire under everyone. Antonio Brown, of all people, summed it up best. A man who admitted he never cared about women's hoops until Clark came along posted on X. Problem with WNBA was always that it hasn't been entertaining for most avid basketball fans. Then comes Caitlin Clark, who is actually fun to watch. And people watched.
You've gone after Caitlin Clark quite a bit on social media.
No, I haven't gone after Caitlin Clark.
Okay, so you like her?
Yeah, she's a great basketball.
But then they decide to leave her off the Olympic team. WNBA really screwed themselves. And he's not wrong. But hold up. Before we go blaming the WNBA, let's be clear. The decision came from Team USA head coach Sheryl Swoopes, who opted for a more veteran squad. She's the Minnesota Lynx coach and wanted experience over hype. It worked. Team USA won gold against France. But the marketing opportunity, that was buried 6 feet under in Paris. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back either, calling the omission idiotic, stupid, and a compromise to the WNBA's ultimate goal, growth. He reminded everyone that Team USA has historically doubled as a marketing machine, not just a medal-collecting army. So why was Clark out? Politics? Seniority? Fear of overshadowing vets? Maybe. But the one person not complaining? Caitlin herself. They called me and let me know before everything came out, which was really respectful, she told reporters. Then she said something that told us she's already playing the long game. I think it just gives you something to work for. Hopefully when 4 years comes back, I can be there. In 2028, the games hit Los Angeles, and you better believe Clark will be ready, along with her likely USA teammate Angel Reese, with the spotlight now burning hotter than ever. But let's rewind, because the legend of Caitlin Clark isn't just built on her scoring, it's also built on the bodies she's left behind. Just ask Hailey Van Lith. Once a rising star at Louisville, Van Lith transferred to LSU to team up with Angel Reese and Flau'jae Johnson, a squad that started the season ranked #1 in the AP poll. That was the big three of college hoops, until they ran into a Category 5 hurricane named Caitlin Clark. In the 2024 NCAA Elite Eight, Van Lith and LSU were steamrolled by Clark, who dropped a casual 41 points in their faces. Van Lith was hopeless to stop her, even captured on camera shrugging in disbelief as Clark swished a deep three and sauntered back on defense like a seasoned villain. The public embarrassment? Savage. Van Lith's draft stock nosedived. The solution? She took her final year of eligibility and transferred to TCU to start fresh, and she made the most of it. With TCU, she averaged 17.9 points, 5.3 assists, and 4.4 rebounds per game. The team went 31-3, clinched the Big 12 regular season title, and swept the Big 12 tournament championship, where she was named the most outstanding player. She also totaled 63 points over just 3 tournament games. That earned her Associated Press National Player of the Week honors for Week 18. Talk about a glow-up.
And Caitlin Clark did the "you can't see me" gesture. It was against Louisville.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was directed towards you. Walk me through.
Right after the game, I texted her and I was like, the media is dumb. I'm sorry.
Fans even began issuing apologies online. A lot of people owe Hailey Van Lith an apology after she was forced to sit in the corner at LSU, one post read. Another fan said her time at LSU was the best thing that could have happened for her. But for all Van Lith's revival, it's still Clark's world.
Caitlin's very skilled. She's a great player. She hit some tough shots, and there's not a whole lot you can do about some of the threes she hit.
Which brings us to Dan Dakich, the sports commentator whose mouth might be louder than his mic. And his recent take, nuclear. On his show with Outkick, Dakich dropped this bombshell. Only Caitlin Clark matters in the WNBA.
Look, let's be honest. We can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, you got nothing.
Not Aja Wilson, who led the Las Vegas Aces to dominance. Not Angel Reese, who's already positioning herself as a league leader and budding brand. Not Diana Taurasi, Sabrina Ionescu, or even Breanna Stewart. Just Clark. And then he aimed his flamethrower at Reese. After Reese said she'd be in meetings to help players like herself fight for better salaries, calling out the $73,439 rookie deal as not enough to live on, Dakich scoffed.
People thought Angel Reese could draw. No, nobody wants to watch Angel Reese. Come on.
He said a WNBA strike would only make NBA owners clap in celebration. So you're going to sit out. You lost 40, 50 million. You know who would clap for you all sitting out? The NBA. So they don't have to subsidize your dumb AES to the tune of 40 to 50 million a year. He didn't sugarcoat it. He said if the WNBA wants to lose what little momentum it has, let players like Reese sit out. Because he, personally, would only miss watching the Indiana Fever. More specifically, Clark. Now that's harsh, but again, is it wrong? Let's look at what teams are doing just to ride the Clark wave. The Atlanta Dream, whose home arena, Gateway Center, seats just 3,500, is moving their May 22nd game against the Fever to State Farm Arena, a 16,888-seat NBA venue. Their excuse? A scheduling conflict. But Clark fans aren't buying it. It's called the Caitlin Clark effect, one person wrote. Another said, never trust someone who lies for no reason. And this isn't a one-off. Several teams reshuffled venues last season to cash in on Clark's presence. She's not just a player, she's a traveling stimulus package. All this leads to one major issue: money. The WNBA is still being heavily subsidized by the NBA. Players are demanding more, but outside of Clark and a handful of viral stars, most WNBA names aren't drawing. That's why players like Napheesa Collier and Breanna Stewart created Unrivaled, a 3x3 women's league held in Miami. It allows WNBA players to stay stateside and boost their income instead of going overseas in the offseason. That new format even snagged a TV deal with TNT, proving there's appetite for women's basketball, as long as it's packaged right. Still, the main draw is Clark. Everything else? According to Dakich and many fans, it's just background noise. So we're left with a question the league can't afford to ignore. What happens if Caitlin Clark gets hurt, or fades, or burns out? Because if the current trend holds, she's not just part of the WNBA, she is the WNBA. And that's a wrap. So what do you think? Is Dan Dakich onto something with his claim that only Caitlin Clark matters in the WNBA? Or do you think other stars deserve more love? What would happen to the league if Clark were to get injured or fade from the spotlight? Should Team USA have taken her to the Olympics despite the veteran squad? I want to hear your thoughts on all of this in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest WNBA drama, hot takes, and deep dives. We're bringing you the real unfiltered insights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, hit that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Trust me, this season is just heating up, and the drama is only going to get wilder. All right, that's all for now. Catch y'all in the next one.